My blade always thirsts for more.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another top 5 video. In today's top 5 video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 worst things about Infinite Warfare. And granted, it's just been the beta so far and just the multiplayer aspect of it, but so far what I've seen has not been very good. And so that's what we're going to go over today, is the top 5 worst things about the multiplayer beta. And so coming in at our number 5 spot is actually going to be the matchmaking. And my issue is not that it takes a long time to get into a game. My issue, has nothing to do with filling up the lobbies, which is something I've seen other people complain about. My issue is actually something that's not solely about Infinite Warfare, but more or less just about Call of Duty, and that is the matchmaking. So how does the matchmaking work? Is it skill-based matchmaking? No, it can't be skill-based matchmaking because, I see people with 17.50 kill-to-death ratio put in games with me, and I've got a 0.50 kill-to-death ratio, so on and so forth. So there's no skill-based matchmaking. So, okay, is it then connection-based matchmaking? In other words, if I've got a poor internet connection, I would only be put into games with others who also have a poor internet connection, because in Call of Duty, the internet connection makes a hell of a difference when you're talking about the time to kill, and you're talking about the hit detection, and, just being able to win a gunfight, a one-on-one fair gunfight. Connection makes all the difference. And if I've got poor internet and you've got really good internet, chances are I'm going to lose that gunfight, whether I should have won it or not. And there's no internet or connection-based matchmaking in this. I can tell that from the kill cams. I can tell that from, just playing the game. It's pretty easy to see. So if there's no skill-based matchmaking and there's no connection-based matchmaking, what is the matchmaking based off of? Just throwing people in a game together? Because that's my problem with Black Ops 3 as well, is that I'll be put into lobbies with Prestige Masters level 1000, and I'm only Prestige 1 or Prestige 2 level 30. I get put into lobbies with people with great connection and I've got a bad connection. I get put into lobbies with people with a super high KD and mine's really low. It doesn't make sense, and quite frankly, it's not really fair, so that takes our number 5 spot. So moving right along into our number 4 spot, as you can see on screen right now, is this guy's really shitty camo. And definitely I want to point out the camos, because the weapon camos look like shit. It just could not look more fake or more unrealistic. It looks like you took these guns and dipped them in fucking paint. Your stock should not be camoed. Your grip, your magazine, the barrel of your gun, the sight, the silencer, those should not be camoed. Take a look at any other Call of Duty game that's not an Infinity Ward product, and the camos are just like they would be in real life, like a real weapon camo, whereas these look like they're dipped in paint, and they're crazy vibrant and look really stupid. And what's interesting to me, like you go back and play Call of Duty Ghost and you have gold camo, even the silencer is gold. Like, what the fuck is that? But what's really interesting to me is that how bright and vibrant and rich the colors are on these weapon camos, but then that same, idea does not, transfer over to the maps. The maps are not bright. They're not colorful and vibrant. They're better than they were in Call of Duty Ghost, I will give you that. But the difference to me between a Treyarch game and an Infinity Ward game one of the differences anyway, has been the maps in Treyarch games look so rich and vibrant and colorful and immersive, and the maps in Infinity Ward products look really bland and, simple and boring. Now, they've tried a little bit harder, I can tell, in maps like Throwback, but still, they're just not as rich and vibrant. And so, number 4 is going to be overall the graphics, but particularly, I think, the weapon camos. Now, coming in at our number 3 spot, I'm not sure if a lot of people have problems with this or have even become aware of this, but if you played the Infinite Warfare beta and then when it was over you went back and played some Black Ops 3, you would notice that while, yes, both games do have slides and both games do have, you know, the thrust jumping or boost jumping, the double jumping ability, in Black Ops 3 you can actually move so much faster. Your double jump is so much faster, your slide is faster, and in Infinite Warfare, all of the maps are designed, you know, for chaotic gunfights. You know, it's almost like every map is like a nuke town or a combine where it's just crazy chaotic gunfights and very fast paced, yet the slide is way slower. I don't feel like I can use it to get around the map quickly, and I certainly can't, you know, slide around corners and hip fire to get kills, which is something I do almost constantly in Black Ops 3. And as far as the double jumping or thrust jumping goes, a lot of times in gunfights in Black Ops 3, you can double jump and avoid, you know, getting shot or get away from the auto aim for a second, and you'll win a gunfight if you're both aiming at each other and you double jump while you're shooting. A lot of times you'll win that gunfight because it'll cause them to miss some of their shots. You can get away from, you know, certain death with the double jumping, but it's actually slower in this. Even though the game is more fast-paced and the maps are designed to be more fast-paced, the double jumping and sliding is actually slower. And so you can't get away from gunfights, you can't win, you know, gunfights, you can't even hip fire around corners very effectively. So definitely number 3 has to be the slow movement in, you know, being coupled with chaotic fast maps. And so wouldn't you know it, talking about the chaotic maps, that's actually going to be our number 2 spot. Is that, now again, we've only played the beta, and we've only played a few maps, but there have been 4 maps released, and in the beta this weekend there's going to be more maps released, and so far from what I've played, every single map is very small and very chaotic, and that's a big difference from every other Call of Duty ever made, where yeah, you may have a small chaotic map, but not every map is designed that way. And you know, it's another thing too to have a small map versus having a chaotic map. They're two different things, and Infinite Warfare really has both of those in every single map. And what I mean by that is not only are the maps small, which forces the spawns to be kind of tricky, and the spawns themselves are fucked up. I've spawned in the middle of enemies, had enemies spawn right behind me, which is partly due to small maps and partly due to bad spawning. But the chaoticness comes from the design of the maps, where there's always 3 or more angles that somebody can be shooting at you from. There's very few, you know, hallways or areas you can go around corners where you only have to cover 1 or 2 angles. And so, you know, if you're already pre-aiming and you're aiming down the sights and you're turning the corner, you're covering your corner, you know, in any other Call of Duty, you know, you have a pretty good chance of winning the gunfight. But in this Call of Duty, constantly you're getting shot from the sides, you're getting shot from behind, you're getting shot from 2 or 3 angles at once, 2 or 3 different guys aiming at you and shooting at you at once. And that's the way the map layouts are. That's the way the maps are designed, not just to be really small, which is already kind of not fun all the time. You know, 1 or 2 small maps is okay. But not only are they small, but they're designed so chaotically to always have multiple angles of gunfire on you, which is not okay all of the time. Again, 1 or 2 maps is okay, but not all of the time. And so that is going to take our number 2 spot. Now, coming in at our number 1 spot, look, we've talked about, you know, camos and graphics, we've talked about the map layout, we've talked about maybe the movement speed being a little bit slower. None of these necessarily are completely game-breaking. Now, I do feel like the skill-based matchmaking thing is completely game-breaking, you know, to not be paired with people that are your own skill level, or at least connection level on internet. But our number 1 spot is going to be something that is so completely game-breaking that I won't even play a match. And what that is the aim assist, okay? And the aim assist for any gun, whether it's a secondary like a pistol, an SMG, a shotgun, an assault rifle, an LMG, all of the aim assist for those guns have been turned down. It's noticeable. It is a noticeable difference that I've seen many people talk about coming from, say, Black Ops 3 to this game. The aim assist has been turned down for those guns, but that's not the problem. Turning the aim assist down is not the problem. Make people play with more skill. Hey, that's actually a good thing, right? But the aim assist for snipers has been turned way, way up. And that is a problem. It's a game-breaking problem where if I even see somebody with a sniper rifle, I just back out of the match. I will not play. And here's why I won't play, is because in order to aim with a sniper rifle, you have to lift that scope and put that scope to your eye and look through that scope before you can actually aim at somebody and pull the trigger. And so when I see somebody quick scoping, what they're doing is the second the scope has been lifted up, they've already started pulling the trigger. Now what this means is that they've pulled the trigger before they've ever aimed, which means that they're not actually ever aiming. So how is it that you can kill me all the way across the map? Okay, you can shoot all the way across the map, it's always a one-hit kill, and you can kill me without even aiming when I'm sitting here pre-aiming, aiming down the sights, covering corners, playing careful, and you can kill me all the way across the map without ever actually aiming. That's flat-out cheating, taking advantage of, you know, a flaw in the game and using it to your benefit to have a leg up on your opponent, to be better than the other players. That's the definition of cheating. And it's bad enough, like I say, I will not even finish a game with snipers in it. I just won't do it because it's not fair at all. And that is such a game-breaking thing that it definitely has to take the #1 spot on this list. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, be sure and leave a like. And as always, if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. But until my next video, I'll see you bye.